Mr. Jameson, are you still there? Let me stop sharing and make sure you have. But we're not hearing you. Not hearing you still. I see the fires dropping in the chat for you though, Sir Jameson. Everybody wants to hear from you. I can see that your camera is on. I can see that your microphone is open, but there might be a connectivity issue some other way. Do you have a headphone in, plugged in? Might have a headphone in or something. Okay, yeah, no problem. We're waiting on you. So, ladies and gentlemen, right after the presentation with Mr. Jameson, we are going to come back to me. We're going to show you what you can do to participate with any of the products online that you're going to hear about now. No, still can't hear you. We're going to show you how you can get involved. Yes, we could hear you from the cell phone.
I got another device. Hold on.
Yeah, what you can do is you can disconnect the audio from Zoom. Use the slides from Zoom, but the audio from your phone, if that can work. Disconnect Zoom audio, turn the phone back on so we can hear you through the phone, but then just move the slides from your computer. That might work if that's possible.
Is there echo?
Yes, I can hear you through your phone, but because your Zoom mic is open, it's going to have that feedback. So there's the little arrow beside the microphone on Zoom. Click on it and go all the way down to the bottom and say leave computer audio. So if you leave computer audio, then you can go to your phone and we'll use your phone audio, and then you can still share the slides from your PC and we'll still see the slides. Okay, he's leaving to come back. So guys, you know what? Technology, it gets the better of us sometimes. And, you know, whenever something great.
Audio from my laptop didn't work.
Yes, I can hear you great from your phone. Yes.
Yeah, that's from my phone. I got to connect the slides. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, right after Mr. Jameson presents the products and services of the platform that we leverage as a team, we leverage tools and technology platforms that can advance our mission, which is create financial freedom and growth in every area for our people. So right after that, we're going to show you, for those of you who may be interested and want to know how you can absolutely benefit from these tools, services, and opportunities to grow your skill and make more money, we're going to show you how you can get involved with an easy click. It takes 5 minutes to leverage these for yourself. And we will definitely do that in a little while. We have a little bit of a technical issue, guys. Please bear with us. We're going to get started soon.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, no echo.
All right. So can you make the Noble mic device co-host, please?
It is. You're good to go.
No. It's the Noble mic. It doesn't show co-host. That's the Mike Jameson. That's the audio.
Oh, okay.
The one that says Noble mic.
It's okay. Without co-host, you can still share. Go ahead, but I'll find you and make you co-host anyway. But go ahead.
No problem. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we should have magic now.
Magic, we're cooking with gas, sir. We can see your screen.
All right, fantastic. Well, listen, I appreciate everybody for your patience. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. Not quite sure why I do know why my main microphone was muted for some reason on the laptop, but that's okay. We're ready to rock and roll. Thank you so much, Ms. Buckner, for the warm introduction. As always, I'm always excited to have an opportunity to share, because this information that I'm going to share with you today has literally changed my life, right? And you heard Ms. Buckner talk about how you can get accomplished what it may take the average person 5 or 10 years to do, how you can possibly do that with what we're going to share with you today in a year and a half, right? About a year and a half or so. or maybe even less. Okay, maybe even less. So today, what I want to do is I want to walk through the power of our services and why so many people are excited about what we do. As you heard in the introduction, our company is called iGenius, and one of the main things that we're doing nationally and internationally is that we're literally helping people solve the money problem. Okay, we're literally helping people solve the money problem. And the reality is it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. Most of the time, and a lot of the times, people have a challenge with cash flow, right? People have a challenge with cash flow. And so what we want to do in our program is that we want to give people the solutions to those problems. And so whether they are less than check to check, right? Or whether they're looking for an early retirement, or perhaps they're looking to figure out a way that they can send the kids or the grandkids to the school of their choice. Okay, we want to provide solutions to those problems. And you've probably heard this saying before: the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. And so we have a five-pillar approach to those common problems. One of which is education. So I'm going to do a huge favor and ask of you that if you don't mind, find your chat feature and put edu. Edu is short for education. Okay, so drop edu in the chat for me, please. Edu in the chat. All right, so why do I want you to put edu in the chat? Well, the reason I want to do that is because we're going to spend a little bit of time in a few minutes talking about results. And everybody loves talking about results. I do as well, right? But it's the education that comes along with the results that's equally as important. Because here's what happened: they did a study. They said you can take the world's wealth, all right? You can take the world's wealth and divide it evenly amongst the 8 billion people on the planet, okay? Evenly amongst the 8 billion people on the planet. And within 3 to 5 years, that money will make its way back to its rightful owners, okay? That money will make its way back to its rightful owners. Why is that? It's not because of where they're from. It's not because of what they look like. It has everything to do with what they know. And so we're going to spend equally amount of time talking about the education that goes between your two ears as we do the results. Okay, as we do the results. And so here's what we want you to do. The next thing we want you to write down in the chat and in your notes is I want you to write down tools, TOOLS. All right, TOOLS. Okay, why is that important? Well, the reason tools are important is because from this day forward, today, we want you to have the same access to the tools of the wealthy, right? Wealthy people have access to resources and tools that the average person doesn't have access to. So how is it that we can want a result that the wealthy people have, but not have the same tools that the wealthy people are using? Right? It's an unfair advantage. And so what we want to do today is give you that competitive advantage starting tonight. Okay, starting tonight. Okay. And then the third thing I'm going to talk about, and then we'll advance the conversation, is community. Okay. You heard Ms. Buckner talk about the power of community, the power of this team, and the evolution that it has taken over the last 5 years. Well, I believe the exact same thing. I believe the power in community. I believe the power in team. And here's why. Because when you really start to understand team beyond the acronym, right? Together, everyone achieves more. When you really start to understand the power of team beyond the acronym, you understand what it does. And what it actually does is that it multiplies the result and it divides the effort. Listen to me closely. It multiplies the result, but it divides the effort. Meaning multiple people that are part of the community, that are part of the team, can experience overflow, can experience excess, right? Because they're in the right place at the right time. Back in the day when I first started my entrepreneur journey 23 years ago, we used to have a saying: the T in timing is better than the T in talent. That's the exact same thing we're talking about right now. Okay, where we're giving you an opportunity to multiply the result and divide the effort, right? And I'll talk about what that means here in a few minutes. But let's fast forward. So why are we on a call on a Monday evening with almost 50 people online? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask you to join, right? We're going to ask you to join in a few minutes a national and international expansion that's taking place right beneath your noses, right? And so we have to have intimate conversations like this, like we're having tonight, with the people that matter most. Here's why. Because if you haven't figured out yet that there's a wealth transfer taking place in the world, not just in the U.S., in the world. I can speak specifically to the U.S. because I've been here as a citizen, and I've seen it happen over the last 5 years. This wealth transfer taking place, and most people, because of not being in the know, are not participants of the wealth transfer because they don't know. And then number two, they're not participants of the wealth transfer is because they are afraid. Do you know, listen to me, do you know that from 2020, right when COVID hit the world, to 2023, that 3 year period, that 36-month period, that the U.S. government printed more money in that 2 year to 3 year period than they had previously printed in the first 200 years of the country's existence? You hear what I just said? They printed more money in that 24 to 36-month period than had previously been printed in the previous 200 years. So let me explain to you what that means when it comes to supply and demand on how the person who's wealthy looks at it. All right. So basic supply and demand principles. Listen to me closely. If you have $1 million in your bank account right now, and it's right before COVID hit, and the government prints a couple of $1 trillion worth of money, your $1 million is no longer worth $1 million because of the supply of currency in the marketplace. There's too much supply. So you were a millionaire, but when they printed the money, you became a thousandaire, right? So maybe you were worth 750,000 or half a million instead of $1 million because the supply was increased. So what the ultra wealthy were looking to do is, how can I transfer? How can I move my wealth from an asset, the US dollar? Everybody knows that the US has the biggest economy in the world, right? So when the US dollar is being devalued, it affects the global world, right? The global economy. And so what happens, these whales were saying, how do I figure out how to retain my wealth? I got to move a large portion of my wealth from an asset that's depleting in value to assets that can accumulate and appreciate. Thus, introduction to the digital currency. That's where we're going. And so we're going to have a few examples in today's conversation. I'm not a registered investment advisor. Neither is iGenius, and neither are a couple of people that you may hear from on today's call. We're just publishers of information. We want to give you the ability tonight to make a choice, and this is my definition of choice: a voluntary act of that which is preferred. Okay, write that down. A voluntary act. Okay, a voluntary act of that which is preferred. That just simply means, okay, that just simply means tonight you're going to get a chance, okay, you're going to get a chance to make a choice on which of these programs make sense to you. All right. Now, we started off talking about education and importance, how important it is. And within our platform, you're going to get exposed. You're going to have access to several different educational platforms. So if you love the university type style of learning, where you can get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of wine or water, and just study and process information at your own pace, then the university and the academy will be perfect for you. We got that ready for you, okay? We got that ready for you. Or if you're a person that likes to be in a live setting, a classroom setting, or online where you can interact with the market experts and ask questions and things of that nature, guess what? We got that setting for you. And so we have several different educational platforms. But here's the cool part about it. You can connect to our education platform anywhere in the world. It's mobile friendly. All right. So it doesn't matter whether you're Android world or team iPhone, it doesn't matter. You literally can connect to our entire educational platform from anywhere in the world. And the reason this is such a paradigm shift is because prior to 2017, you had to be on the floor. The trading floor is what they used to call it, right? You had to be on the trading floor in order to participate in global currency or the equities market. Well, now you don't have to be on the trading floor. You can be sitting on the floor in Jamaica, right? Literally, and participating in the marketplace is what we're doing. And so this gives you the ability to bring what used to be only available on Main Street, right? On Wall Street. Now you can bring it down to Main Street, which is your street, okay? Which is what we absolutely love. So now let's talk about how we connect it, right? Let's talk about how we get you access to the tools of the wealthy. All right, I'm going to advance the conversation really quickly here. All right, so write down in the chat, for those that are following along, write down in the chat RAA, right? Write down in the chat RAA for me, really quick. Write down in the chat RAA in the chat, all right? I'm going to tell you what that means in a minute. RAA, okay? RAA. All right, here's what RAA is. It stands for Research and Alerts. It stands for Research and Alerts. Why is Research and Alerts important? Let me show you. All right, this is a live training, and I want to show you why Research and Alerts is so important. So you heard Ms. Buckner mention that we have these educators that are part of our platform, right? I'm one of those educators, proud of it, okay? And I don't do it for the money, by the way. I don't. I take the money, but I don't do it for the money, okay? The reason I do it is because I want to play an intricate part in people developing their education and their ability to win. Okay. But when you get access to our community, what's going to happen is that you're going to connect to our Alerts One bot. This is a customized communication tool that the company has specifically developed for our community. And what happens, you're going to get this panel, and this panel will say, okay, well, what is it that you're interested in? Maybe you may start off and say, hey, man, I'm interested in equities, which is the traditional stock market. And so we got these channels that help you learn to trade in the stock market. Even if you've never heard about stocks before, you've never done anything with stocks before, guess what? Don't worry about it. We're bringing, again, Wall Street to Main Street. You don't have to worry about that aspect of it, okay? And we got traders to help you do that. Maybe you're interested in crypto, so you click on crypto. Boom. You get access to the crypto experts. You might not have ever done anything in crypto prior to today. As a matter of fact, you may be intimidated by it, and that's okay. But what happens is that you get a chance to leverage the crypto experts that are already been vetted, they're on company's payroll, and they are doing what they do best to show you the plays that they're running in the marketplace. Or maybe you want to do some foreign currency stuff. Boom, you can connect to the foreign currency channels. Fantastic. Okay. As a matter of fact, if we dive into Atlas, that just happens to be my channel. I'm a little biased. Okay. All right. So if you click on Atlas, you'll notice that earlier, May the 10th, I believe that was yesterday or something like that. I published a little short video of some analysis that I did, right? And saying, hey, look, I'm looking at some assets, and this is what I think is going to happen. No, this is the recording, and here's a little video, okay, of AUD CAD. And I set a notification up so my system will let me know when to let you know that a potential trade opportunity was becoming available, right? Once my system gave me that notification, boom, I sent it out with all of the credentials you need, as well as the disclaimers that's supposed to be there, along with a picture of what I seen in the marketplace. Okay. And that's it. Okay. And so I'm a swing trader. So I do about 4 or 5 trades for the whole week. But we got people that do 4 or 5 trades every single day. So it doesn't really matter which one you prefer. We have a market expert for you. Okay. And some of you are probably market experts yourselves with the experience that you have in this particular space. But that's why the research and alerts are so important, is because moving forward today, you have access to 40 people that are working for you. Think about that. I just want you to process that. What would it cost? Remember, we talked about community in the beginning, how we multiply the result, but we divide the effort. Imagine if you had to hire 40 people to do analysis for you and identify what the best opportunities are. Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay, watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you this. Now, you remember me mentioning that I am a forex swing trader. I invest in crypto, but I don't consider myself a crypto trader because I don't really do the analysis. But guess what? One of my partners is a crypto trader, so he does the analysis and gives us the ideas that he sees. Well, guess what? If if you were having this conversation with us 24 months ago, let's just say back in March of 2023, you would have been connected to us and you would have received this communication where our one of our crypto experts said, "Hey, this company TerraWolf Inc. is about to skyrocket. I've done the research, I read the white paper, I see what's happening, and I'm going to buy in at 65 cents a share." This is back in March of 2023. And he said, look, obviously, past performance is not indicative of future results. They give us the play. You run it if you want to. So if you can tell, I ran the play, like most people that were connected. And we fast forward to February of this year when I took this screenshot. TerraWolf was over $4 a share. And we got in at 65 cents just 24 months prior. Now, you can do the math on what type of percentage return. We can't make any guarantees, but you can do the math. And just in case, I took a couple of screenshots just to make it a little bit simpler for you. Look here, right? Had you taken $1,000 and bought 60 at 65 cents a share, you would end up with about 15,000 shares. Okay, 15,000 shares, not bad. Had you held on for 24 months, cashed in those 1,500 shares, I said 15,000, 1,500 shares at $4, a little over $4 per share, you would have turned that $1,000 into 7,500. All you did was run the play. All you did was run the play, and you're multiplying your wealth. This is how you give your money a job. Listen to me closely. This is how you give your money a job. Money should just be leaving the house and never to be seen again. Money should be leaving the house and coming back with babies, right? And so what if you would have taken a $10,000 at 65 cents a share, you'd have ended up with 15,000 shares. Some of you got big money here. I know that, right? And then you'd have cashed out at 15,000 shares, a little over $4 a share, $75,000. Matter of fact, put in the chat how you doing if you just ran that one play. If you just ran that one play at whatever level you decided, maybe at a high level, maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe just getting started. I would like to turn, $10 into $75, or $100 into $750, or $1,000 into $7,500. Either way, you're multiplying at the level you are at right now. But the key here, the key part of this conversation today is access, right? You need to be connected to the people who know. No one knows everything, and that's why the community aspect of what we do is so important, okay? Let's fast forward the conversation. Now, if we go to the other aspect, I just mentioned the power of the research and alerts. I just gave you one example of, two examples. One was mine with forex. Another example was in crypto. Guess what? We do the exact same thing in traditional stocks as well. So this gives you the ability, ladies and gentlemen, right? The ability to diversify. This is important. You don't want to have, as my grandmother would say, being from the country, all of your eggs in one basket. You want to have the ability to diversify. So when others are zigging, you're zagging. And when others are zagging, you're zigging. It's just that simple. Okay? All right, so cool. So let's fast forward. Again, as a company, I've been here 7 years. The company started in 2013, so they've been, I don't know, what's that, 12 years or something like that, or more. So they're not new to this, and so we have a track record of having the ability to show people results across the marketplace with proper disclaimers. Okay, again, as publishers of information only. Now, we believe in partnerships. You heard Ms. Buckner talk about that at the beginning of the call. That's why you're here tonight. You're on the call tonight because we want you to create this strategic partnership for this massive expansion that we're doing, okay? And so we have these great programs, these great companies. We don't believe in reinventing the wheel if we don't have to, right? And so if you've heard about AI technology, put AI in the chat for me. If you've heard about AI technology, put AI in the chat for me, if you don't mind. Put AI in the chat. If you've heard of AI technology, put AI in the chat for me. Okay. I see the AIs are starting to flow. The AIs are starting to flow. I'm going to talk to you. I only got like 2 more messages I want to share with you, and I'll be done. This is really easy for me. All right. This is really easy. Let me share something with you. There's some of you that are in a position that you probably want to play catch up. You want to utilize technology to collapse time frames and expedite the process a little bit more. And that's what AI really does. It takes what would normally take, hours and years probably to do, and it summarizes it utilizing supercomputer and power. This is what AI, artificial intelligence, is all about. And so we do have this exclusive elite program, right, where you can, become a part of our elite group and get access to AI tools. There's one here called Nora AI. Listen, for those traders that are on the line, let me tell you something. You are going to be ecstatic about the AI tools that we're using. I'm going to talk to you about one that's a manual. I call it Copilot, right? It's not 100% automated, but it's kind of like a Copilot, which is called Nora AI, Nora AI. What it does, listen to me. It takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to do my top-down analysis on the weekend to identify what trades I'm going to issue out and what assets I'm going to be looking at for the up-and-coming week, okay? Well, the company just released this Nora AI technology where I could send a screenshot of my screen and the type of trader I am, scalper, day trader, swing trader, and the AI technology would do top-down analysis in about 3 minutes. So what it takes me an hour to do, Nora AI would do it in 3 minutes. And so you know what I've been doing? I've been comparing, I've been comparing my analysis to Nora AI's analysis for over a week now, just to see how well it's doing, right? So let me go here. I'm going to show you this. This is crazy. I'm going to switch over to my swing AI watch list right here. This is in real time, by the way. And I looked at 4 assets. Let me show them to you. This is one. I looked at GBP CHF with the AI. You can see that it was on point. I looked at EUR GBP with the AI. You can see that it was on point. I looked at EUR USD with the AI. Oh my goodness, it was incredibly on point, right? I calculated a 65 pip move. The AI pushed it out to 175 pip move, right? So I did 3 traditional forex pairs, and then I did 1 indice, NAS 100. Look what it did. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I calculated a 270 pip move on NAS 100, and the AI pushed that bad baby up to 824 on NAS 100. It's crazy what's happening. Again, what was taking me 30 minutes to an hour, the AI technology did it in 3 minutes. Right? Drop some fire in the chat if you can get excited about that, man. Y'all got to drop some fire in the chat, right? Because this is what we're talking about, right? When I said in the beginning how you need to have access to tools of the wealthy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share something with you that you're never going to hear on another call. The company is about $30,000 into the investment of that technology. $30,000 into the investment of making that technology work for you. All right? And we get access to it for pennies on the dollar. It's crazy. Okay. All right. So let's talk about one more thing and we'll be done. We have access to automated AI as well, right? So that AI is for the traders because they want to, again, get done what would take them hours to do, right, in a few minutes. So that's kind of semi-automated. But we also have 100% automated technology that you can utilize as one of our top members, which I'll share with you what that means. Remember, the key to the conversation is access. And so what happens with our automation is that once you become one of our top members, we call it elite. Once you become an elite member, here's what happens. You can use our 100% automated technology. Now, again, our goal is to protect the community. So first thing, let me share with you, no one in barrier breakers, no one in AMG, no one will ever ask you for money. I got to say that up front, because these people that scam folks are so smart. They clone profiles, make it look like you're talking to Bridget or Mike Jameson or whoever, and then they go in people's inboxes and you think it's me, and it ain't me. It just looks like me because it's my picture. So I need to say that up front. Nobody will ever ask you for money in our community. That's not what we do. We share with you how to multiply your money in your account. We don't need your money. We just want to show you the plays to multiply your money. Okay, so that's first off. Second of all, at any given time, you will always be able to add to it or take out your account. It's your money. And so these are things we share up front so people have the proper expectation when they utilize the automated technologies on how it works. Now, I just so happen to have a really good friend of mine who's literally been with me from the beginning of this journey, right? From the beginning of us as a community deciding to join iGenius and say, no, we're going to move forward as a team, as a community, and learn how to multiply our money, how to leverage our money in these marketplaces. And she has an incredible testimony on how she was able to, after having access to the tools, just like I'm sharing with you, how she was able to put things in position before she needed it. So let me do a quick sound check for my good friend out of Sacramento, California, Miss Debbie Minifield. Are you there?
I am. There I am. Yes, yes. Hi.
I'm doing fantastic, ma'am. If you don't mind, take 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, and share your quick testimony on how you utilize the automation.
Yes, yes. Hello, everybody. I am Debbie Menenfield in Sacramento, California. And as Mr. Jameson stated, I have been there with him as an elite member for 7+ years. And I was able to utilize one of the automated systems. Back a couple of years ago, we were looking to buy a home and we were pulling together our money for our down payment. As it turned out, we found a home that was larger than we anticipated and, of course, cost more. And we were pulling together our down payment. And so, in that particular year, in June, August, and then the October, I funded the automated account for $1,000 each, so $3,000 total. And then 6 to 8 months later, when we were getting ready to go to title for the home, we needed more money. So we started pulling, where do we have nickels and dimes? And I happened to look into that account, and that $3,000 had become 13. And I was able to, because I held the ownership of the account. It was my account. It had trading rights, but it couldn't withdraw or anything like that. But I was able to withdraw that $13,000 that we were able to use for the home that we're in right now. And I'm retired and I own a business and I didn't have time to do all of that, but it found the opportunities to trade, and it, quadrupled my money. And I tell you, no bank was paying that. And so it has since gone on to fund several different strategies and different opportunities. But the automated was the best because it was best on time and then best on the results. And past performance does not guarantee any future. But Mr. Jameson always teaches use your profits from one strategy to invest in another. And so that's what I've continued to do. Thank you, Mr. Jameson.
Also, I need everybody to drop some money bags. Drop some money bags in the chat for Miss Debbie Minifield. I got my audio working on my main system now. Drop some money bags. Drop some money bags in the chat. Please, please, please. Absolutely phenomenal testimony. We absolutely love that, to hear that and see that. All right, so let's talk about the access. Okay, so we've talked about it. We've mentioned it a little bit. Let's talk about where you stand right now and why this is important. Remember, the whole conversation today was about community, was about tools, was about access. All right, so let's talk about what it means. All right, so we have 3 main memberships and a starter pack. Listen to me closely. We have 3 main memberships and a starter pack. All right. The first membership is called a select membership, and it's $2.99 to activate. All right, $2.99 to activate. What comes with it? It comes with education, foreign currency, and cryptocurrency trade ideas. Education, foreign currency, and crypto trade ideas. Okay, boom. Then we have our second membership, which we call premium. It's $5.99 to activate. All right, what comes with it? It comes with education, foreign currency, crypto, and stock trade ideas. Education, foreign currency, crypto, and stock trade ideas. All right. Our top package, which you just heard Ms. Mendenfield mention, is our elite membership. All right. It's $14.99 to activate. What comes with it? Education, foreign currency, crypto, stocks, automation, NOR AI, and our other 100% automated technology. So everything we have to offer is in the elite membership. And the reason I explain it to you that way, having access to everything, is because look what happens your second month. The first month is just what you pay to activate, to have access to the tools. The second month, guess what? Everybody voluntarily pay for their membership. All right. So the select membership is $175 a month. The premium membership is $175 a month. And guess what? The elite membership is $175 a month. So starting with the second month, everybody's paying the same thing anyway. So if you got it to go big and play elite and be the boss from day one, I suggest you do that. Right. So now you have access to all of the tools on day one. And again, you may not utilize everything right away, but you have access to everything right away. Okay. And then we have a starter pack. The starter pack is $99 to start and $99 a month. What comes with it? It comes with education and forex trade ideas, because we believe in eliminating all excuses. We know that sometimes life may be lifing and people may not have it at the moment. That's okay. But we also believe that if you want something bad enough, that you probably can put your hands on $99. $99, of course. And so therefore we do have the starter pack membership. All right, so let me go through two more things, and then I'll turn it back over to Ms. Buckner and prepare for my next call. One of the things I love about what we do as a community, yes, I love the money, changed my life. Yes, I love helping people, it changed their lives. But more importantly, there's a philanthropic aspect of what we do that I also love, meaning the ability to help people that maybe not even know your name, the ability to help people that can't pay you back. And so for the last 2 years, the leaders of iGenius voluntarily donated to a worthy cause, to the education of these preschool kids in Togo, Africa. And the mission was to build a preschool. It took 24 months to get enough money to do it, but the mission was completed 2 months ago, right? Actually, in March, right? At the end of March, where they opened up the first preschool in Togo, Africa, with 3 classrooms, and it's the only facility with running water for boys and girls within miles. And it makes me proud to be a part of the community that can do something like that, right? Make an impact on another part of the world, right? And that's what it's all about. All right, so the last thing I share with you is we want you getting off this call is to develop a new way of thinking. My mentor said a long time ago, he said, Noble Mike, wealthy people have the innate ability to see information, and they're quick to make a decision, and they're slow to change their mind. But people who have, where wealth is fleeting from them, seems to be running from them, you know what happens? They're slow to make a decision, and they're quick to change their mind. It's a different approach. So today we want you to leave here with a new way of thinking, okay? And what I'm about to share with you in my last point, had I done this myself upon getting out of college with my degree in computer science, I probably would have gotten to the millionaire status a lot sooner. Because here's what happens. When you first start to earn income, Your number one objective is to give that money a responsibility, not to bring the money in and then pay for X, Y, and Z. No, your number one responsibility is to give that money a responsibility, which is put it into an asset or an investment, which is what we talked about in today's conversation. Whether it's forex, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, that money has a responsibility to do what? Create revenue for you. Whether it's $10, $1,000, $100,000, it's creating revenue for you. And what do you do with the revenue? You deduct your expenses, whether it's 175 or 1,500, whatever it may be. And guess what's left? Profits. Did you know profits is an equation? Because people want profits all the time, but they must understand that profits is an equation. It's revenue minus expenses equals profits. You can't get to profits without revenue. One of our industry icons, Jim Rohn, used to always say, profits are better than wages. And what he was saying was, it's better to spend from your profits than to spend from your wage. Because when you spend from your wage, you have no way to replenish what was spent unless you go back to work. Thus, this is a circle, and most people look at that as a rat race. But when you spend from your profits, you don't have to go back to work because the money put the money there. The money goes back to work. That's the difference. And so once you attach your lifestyle to the profits, it pays for the mortgage, it pays for the car, it pays for the private school, it pays for all of those things that you talked about in the very beginning, right? You don't have to worry about being in the center of everything. And now you have true freedom. True freedom, okay? Malcolm X says you can't detach peace from freedom, because if you don't have peace, it's impossible to have freedom, right? So, Ms. Buckner, thank you so much for having me as a guest on your call today. I'm excited for all of the members and new members that's going to be joining us and making a decision, right? A voluntary act of that which is preferred to really join us on this worthy cause to impact the world. Thank you so much, Ms. Buckner. I turn it back over to you. Uh-oh, sound check. Our host, Miss Bridget.
Here I am. I'm talking to nobody. I thought my little keyboard trick would work. I guess it didn't. How are you? Mr. Mike Jameson. Wow. That was awesome. Guys, drop some fire in the chat. Drop some hearts, drop some love. Mr. Jameson, you're so busy. I know you have a ton of calls because you help so many people. You're an educator in the system and a mentor to many. So I really thank you for coming on. And I thank you for bringing our AMG queen to give her testimony as well. Thank you so much. That was very powerful. You know, so many people are trying to buy homes. And if you can put money on a bot, and a couple months later it multiplies and helps you to close on your house. I mean, that's just like, wow, you know. We live in Jamaica, Mike, and if you don't know, it's 150 Jamaican dollars to $1 US. So like 10,000 is 1.5 million. So, you know, to be able to offer an opportunity where people can get into the global market and not be affected by depreciations of the dollar here, and to be able to learn the financial markets, not by yourself, trying to Google and don't know who to trust, but to be able to have a guide with proven strategies is really powerful. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, sir. Not sure how much time you have, if you'll have time for any kind of questions tonight, but would you have time for one or two questions? No, you got to call. You got to call right now.
I got to call at 10. I apologize.
Okay, so you got to go. I don't want you to be late.
All right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry we don't have time for some questions from Noble Mike, but we'll be here with questions. Let me tell you, let that sink in today, because what Mike Jameson just showed you as someone who's been using the community is proof that the system absolutely works, proof that the tools exist, and proof, ladies and gentlemen, that there are people who are not just benefiting from the tools, but using the tools to leverage more and more things in their lives and to turn around and teach other people how to use those tools. The fact of the matter is, guys, the tools are real. The tools are real. Proof is there. There's no two ways about it. problem that I have and that most people have, and the real question is, do you believe? That's the real question. Will you believe again? Because most people stop dreaming by 25. That's a fact. So much things. Life is hard, right? You get beat down, you get discouraged, you get disappointed, you get all kinds of things happen to you. And so people stop dreaming, right? But the fact of the matter is, when you get around the right community, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things happens is that you can ignite your belief again. And that's what we hope happened to you tonight, that the things you dream of, you realize that there is a way to get financial literacy. There is a way to use tools that work. There is a way and a community that can help you to teach you skills in trading, forex, futures, crypto. We have a financial literacy class with a gentleman who has written a book. He's a financial advisor, and he teaches people how to budget. You'll be surprised how many people don't even know how to budget. They can't budget. They're in debt. They don't know how to get out of debt. He does debt restoration. He teaches you how to climb out of debt with proper management of your money. And of course, if people show you how to make money and you still have a money problem, you don't know how to manage money, you don't know how to budget, you don't know how to invest, you make bad choices, then so the money comes, so the money goes. Not cool. So we want to make sure that anyone who comes into our community, if you're an advanced investor, you've got your money problems out the way, and you have restored all your debt and you're just building on top of building, then to 10x your money or 50x your money with tools that we have and training like this skill called forex trading, then great. But if you're somebody who has mashed up your money, who, you know, stuff keeps going wrong and you need some more financial literacy, we can take you through that as well while you learn. So I'm very excited about this community because it has just about everything. And the environment that you want to be in, ladies and gentlemen, is one where you can believe again boldly and absolutely get your dreams funded. And that's what we hope you will do today. We will absolutely work with you, learn with you, and we want to win with you. We want you to win with us. Fact is, this company is more than a platform, guys. It's mentorship, it's tools, it's partnership. And if you're ready to grow personally, financially, spiritually, well, we invite you to start and start now. And taking action is very easy. Get back to the person who invited you. They will have a unique referral link. Yes, the company has a referral program, but you don't have to be in that if you don't want to. As a matter of fact, 85% of the members only trade. 85% of the people who have an account at iGenius, they have a membership, they have a username, they have a back office, they use the tools, they go to futures class, they do binary options, they do forex trading, they do stock trading, they learn about stocks, they learn about crypto. You know, fear is something that keeps people not taking action. Opportunities are out there, people are fearful. There's ways to make money, people are fearful. There's things on the internet, people are fearful. There's cryptocurrency opportunities, people are fearful. Some people have tried to learn forex before. They've partnered with the wrong people. They've gone into some weird schemes, giving the money to people. They've lost money because of ignorance. Guys, knowledge gets rid of fear, because when you know what you know, you can act boldly. And so there are people who come in here just to learn, and you can do the same. And if you have a business mind and you say, well, if I can learn from this and if I can benefit from this, I know other people who could learn too. The company actually rewards you. It's just like Harvard University. It's just like, you know, as a matter of fact, CIBC, I have a bank account at CIBC. And on Thursday, I saw an email coming from CIBC right here in Jamaica to tell me that, Bridget, you only have a few more weeks before our special bonus for referrals is over. They're offering me $50 for every single person I refer to open a US dollar account at CIBC. And if I send someone to CIBC and they qualify and they submit all their documents and they open an account before May 30, CIBC Bank in Jamaica will pay me $50, up to $250. They won't do more than $5. So I can only refer 5 and I can win $250 just for telling somebody, hey, I bank at CIBC, I have a great experience. Why don't you go open an account? Boom. Free for me to just tell a friend that CIBC is a good bank. and they're going to pay me $250. Why did I do that? Because word of mouth is how people trust things. When you go on the internet, you don't know who's telling you this. You don't know what's advertising. You don't know nothing. So you don't trust it because you're afraid. So you miss out. When someone has used something, tested it, tried it, proven it, you can touch them, feel them, pick up the phone and call them fear goes out the window and it's all on you now. Will you do it? Will you believe? Will you take action? That's all that's important. The system works. Will you work the system and be able to add income to your life, to fund your dreams, to fund your retirement? That's the question.